Hmm, he's not here. It's okay. I have an idea where he might be. Who's that? Ah! Why couldn't I win? Yobitsugi-kun? Oh, on the 7th turn. Sho Yogisubi, Yobitsugi, owner of the Fated One of Zero card. Akina's classmate. He did not involve himself with anyone or show interest in anything, but he opened up to others after the events of the Fated Clash. His skill in Vanguard is regarded as genius level. Sure, I guess. I don't know if I remember that being the case in the anime. I don't know if they explicitly said that he was just super good, but maybe it was. I just don't remember. Hey? No. Before that, I should have gone with that rear guard there. Listen to me. What do you want? Do you know where Aki-kun is? No idea. Were you playing Vanguard alone? I just lost. So, I'm thinking about how I could have beaten him. So don't bother me. Okay. Let's go, Yuki. No. You play Vanguard? Huh? I've changed my mind. Fight me. But I've always wanted to fight. Fight me. It seems he won't let us go until you fight. Looks that way. Okay. But if we fight, no lose intended. Alright, let's take on Sho Yobitsugi. He is probably going to beat my ass. Because Vladimir is pretty good. So I've changed finally to the VP boost skill. We'll see how this goes. Just because also I'm not really playing any orders in this deck. I'm playing one order, I guess two. Count Elementaria. But I also don't really want to start with those in my hand per se, right? Yeah. We're going second, which is like okay for Direful Dolls. By the way, we're playing Direful Dolls. I had mentioned it last time that it was a bit unfortunate that this deck didn't get any sort of representative in this game, which I was really hoping for this and a lot of other decks, but it just did not end up happening, which is, you know, unfortunate. Like me drawing both of these fronts is super unfortunate. We are going second, so I can be a little bit aggressive here. Well, maybe not. We'll see what happens here. Because I am going to end up losing some of my cards here. But apparently, in this game, you can guard with your Direful Dolls if they're bound face down. Which I guess makes sense. I don't know if that's like a legitimate ruling. Because I've never fought Vladimir into... or dolls into Vladimir. But it, you know, Andal just says cards from your bind zone that are Direful Doll, right? A unit, just a worker word with Direful Doll from your bind zone. Doesn't matter if it's face up or face down, right? Which is very interesting wording. So you can just grab whatever it's there and use it to guard. So certain dolls that at this point in the game don't bind themselves, like the Griselda, you can just go ahead and use that, which is kind of cool. But he's gonna get a pretty decent hit there. Because he's gonna be able to draw a card and put a heal back, and I think we'll actually guard this. Try to stay as low damage as possible while trying not to make the. Oh my fucking god! All right, he's gonna hit us with the over trigger and the crit. Okay. Breakthrough pretty easily. At least it's just the blue ulti and not the dark state ulti. I'm gonna lose my little cat and my extra copy of Sparta, which is a bit unfortunate. I do play 3 Sparta, but I'm not gonna be able to do much if this one is forced to get bound. Alright. This is okay. We can make this work. We can make the dream work. We'll discard Shelby here to go into Griselda. Use the skill of Serenella. I guess I can explain what this deck actually does. So this is Direful Dolls. We've had Direful Dolls in the game for forever, right? Like even in premium and even in set 1 of Overdress, right? We've had Direful Dolls in the game as just like an archetype name, but now we actually have an archetype deck and boss that you can build around, which is kind of cool. Drawing into that heal is a bit unfortunate, but it is kind of what it is. I could get some of these dolls to maybe be usable, so maybe we'll throw down the Peglia here and push some pretty big damage here, hopefully. Pushing Joe all the way to 4, maybe. Now, he's going to be able to guard this, unfortunately, a few attack points shy of not being just a trigger to guard. But yeah, so we've had Direful Dolls forever, and they finally gave it a boss in the form of Direful Doll, Master Andrel. And on top of him getting a boss, he also got his own like ride line and everything like that, right? So it's pretty cool. They got a whole wave of dolls in Divine Set 1, and it was really great, right? The deck is really fun. It was one of the better designed decks that has come out in a long time, just because of the way that it interacts with other decks and the way that it exists. It's super cool. And basically what it does is that you have to play dolls that have the name Direful Doll in their name, and you get the ability, thanks to Andal, use your Bind Zone to guard your opponent's attacks, right? So every time your opponent attacks, you can choose one doll and use them to guard with, and they get an additional 5k. And Andal himself can call them out from his soul in order to attack with. So he's kind of like Pale Moon in that way, which is super cool. So he's very offensive and defensive because he can multi-attack. He can get an extra drive if you call out 3 dolls. So he's like super dope. I am going to end up losing Griselda and my Sparta. I forgot about the Sparta, but I couldn't really do anything about that, honestly. I guess I could have just not used Peglia and let her get bound, but it is what it is. So let's see what happens here. I really loved Direful Dolls when they revealed it. I tried to test it out myself. I don't want to guard this much, but I ended up testing it out myself, and I loved the deck so much to the point that I did like 2 or 3 test hands with it, and then I immediately stopped playing the deck because there are certain decks that I just love so much that I just want to actually test them out when they come out, right? And I'd rather just play them then when they come out in physical English TCG where I can actually play them, then constantly test them on CFA. So when they come out on paper, I don't feel as excited, which is something that we'll just take this, I guess. That's something that happened to me a lot, especially for set 2 of Divines, and some to an extent set 1. Not so much set 1 because it's kind of newer and I had dolls that I kind of pocketed away, but around that time I had changed up my content. I was trying to do a lot more like, I guess, reveal focused things, and I was in a really rough spot here. I don't really want to go to 4 against Bloodfire going second, but I was doing a lot more like reveal stuff. So like on stream I would go over the reveals. I still kind of do this, right? I'd go over the reveals from the morning stream, and I can't guard this attack, so I guess I will take this because I only go up to 30 and he's 31. And of course I don't have a heal, so we're probably gonna end up losing this fight, I guess. I would do the morning reveals, and then I would play test all the decks as soon as they were in TFA and like get a handle for how they play and whatnot. And then before the set releases, I do a first impressions video, right, where I just go over the decks that impressed me the most, how I felt about them, etc, etc. And then after that, a week would pass and I would do a video looking over week 1 decks, that Japan was playing with, right? So I would do a lot of these types of videos. I shouldn't say a lot. I did them twice for sets 1 and 2 of Divines. And am I really gonna? I'm not gonna make it till next turn. So I might as well put this guy into Soul to draw. Okay, that actually helps a little bit. Yeah, I only really did it like once, but sorry, twice. And I really liked that. Doing that was kind of fun. It made me feel like in the know and whatnot. But at the same time, I didn't end up enjoying set. And gold here, that's fine. I didn't really end up enjoying set 2 of Overdose all that. Oh, sorry, Divines all that much. Like, granted, there were other reasons for that. Like, I had other things happening and going on at the time, which made that a difficult situation for me personally. But I don't know. I just can't seem to enjoy it if I just mass play everything beforehand and then wait 2-3 months for the cards to come out and then finally be able to play them again. So I've decided to just stop doing that since halfway or like full way through set. I think I tested all the decks in set 3 of Divines, but I didn't actually do anything like content-wise with that. And then set 4, I just didn't do anything. I just kind of looked over them, and in set 5 also I went kind of blind into it as well, right? And I think that's worked out for the best, personally. We're going to go ahead and see if we can survive here. The good thing is that he's at least at 4 damage, thanks to that early crit we got. But he has a billion cards in hand compared to... Oh, the trigger! Compared to what I have. That's going to give me a crit so we can actually win the game here. Ooh, and the critical trigger on top of that. Let's fucking go, in case you somehow heal out. Whoo! Here I thought I was like, oh man, I'm gonna lose. I haven't lost yet in the story fight. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this and that and the third. Never mind, we get it done. First try, no more tries. It's over. Cry me a river. Oh, that was literal act of God that I managed to win this game. I won. I see. So that's what it is. I understand through our fight. Huh? I should have gone with the rear guard. Who was Vanguard? I would have trusted the trigger and attacked with the Vanguard. No, but then on the 6th turn, his attack would have... Let's just go, Yuki. Right. He should be at the usual place. I'm looking forward to the day we fight again. Should be around here. There he is! Jeez, Aki-kun, we've been looking for you everywhere. What's going on? Akina Miyolo, owner of the Fated One of Miracles card. A family-oriented older brother who lives with his younger sister, Hikari. His encounter with Geb Lewis threw him into the heart of the Fated Clash, but he triumphed and had his wish granted. The one who needs you isn't me. So, you're Yuki Ichidoji. Sho told me. He said someone is looking for me, and to stand still and just breathe. Sho. I'm sorry. No, it's my fault. I knew it before coming here. Only the name, but... Akina. Really? If we fight, I feel like I can find something I've been seeking. So, lend her your shoulder, Aki-kun. Got it. Seems like she needs help, and it's something I can do. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can maybe get a replay. Oh, we're gonna go second. Okay, let's see if we can get maybe a replay of what happened with Sho, and then we can check another over trigger here. But all right, let's see if we can take on Akina and his Raziel. I had mentioned, I think last time, right? I was playing Zedlance and Akina demolished me and put all my orders into the damage zone and made me rage quit. So, here's hoping that doesn't happen again, and I get key pieces and damage, but I also don't know what to discard. I think, ironically, I'm gonna discard Persona Ride. It's not that I don't value Persona Ride, I already got rid of it in 2 games in a row, but it's just not the best card to have right at this point in time. It's definitely a very important card, and it's definitely a card that I hope they make easier to get for the deck, so for Direful Dolls specifically, so I hope they give them like some sort of way to get their persona right from like Soul so they can recycle it a little bit in an easy way. I think that will help the deck, which is funny because the deck is not really in a bad spot per se. It's just that they keep getting cards that don't push the deck. I've used this analogy in like every single aspect of like Vanguard and just in general, but they're only pushing the deck horizontally. They're not pushing it vertically, right? So they're not going up, they're going sideways. So they're just giving it more cards to do what it already kind of does a little bit better and stuff like that. But they aren't giving it any cards that push it upwards to the next level. So I feel like, you know, getting them something that gets them easy access to Persona Ride probably is also going horizontal. It's not really pushing them to the next level per se, but it wouldn't hurt either. So, and that's the same philosophy or analogy, I guess, that I've been using to describe how Bushiroad has been treating their upgrades, right? They have been making them somewhat like 1.5 or also kind of horizontal upgrades and like straight super mega vertical upgrades, because I think I've talked about it a bunch of times in the previous video, right? And I said I was gonna make a video on it, and I still haven't because I'm still too busy playing Deer Days. But yeah, they haven't like made anything where it's a huge leap forward, it's just a tiny leap forward. And that's kind of what they're doing with Direful Dolls. They're just kind of like padding them out sideways without needing to go into power creep, which I think is like not horrible to Bushiroad's credit, because, you know, not going into power creep constantly on your third reboot of your game is probably a smart move. So we'll just have to be patient. It's just with I don't have Cat is good if I get Lamina, but since I don't have her, I'm just gonna discard it. It's just hard to look into the future of Vanguard. They've made it a little bit easier with, like, recently they revealed that the anime is gonna go on for like a good while longer, like 5 more seasons or like years or something. I forgot the exact numbers, but they have like 100 and something more episodes planned out or something like that. So it's not ending anytime soon, kind of deal. And that kind of stuff is really nice to hear, because, you know, for a good long while with Vanguard, it's kind of been like, how long are we doing this thing for, you know, right? So having that sort of safety, right? Having to have some sort of confidence, you know, reliability in the product is good, because it's been very unstable for a very long time. Partly to Bushiroad's, you know, credit, or I shouldn't say credit, partly because of Bushiroad and some of the actions they've done in the past, obviously, but that they continue doing in the present and in the future, but also not so much on their fault. It's just we need extra reassurance, right? So that's why it's kind of hard to like see these like subpar quote unquote upgrades and think like, oh, it's okay to think on the positive side. It's okay. This just is just gradual power creep. It's not massive power creep. We're just keeping this game around as long as possible without hitting the giant like curve to go up for power creep, right? Which Bushiroad has done a lot of. So it is them learning their lesson. But at the same time, it's less like, well, a lot of people feel like, I don't know if this game is gonna last to the point where I'll get to the point where, you know, this big power creep will happen and my new deck will be really good or whatever. I have 2 Spartas, right? I guess that's fine. So I'm probably going to call out a grade 1 anyways. Oh, I didn't know it did that, but that makes sense because he has ice in the background. I've never seen Saragon attack, obviously, because he never attacks. He mainly uses his skill to boost, right? They actually overcall Saragon? That's crazy. Oh, he gets another Saragon. Okay, that makes sense. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Could have just called like a crit from hand and put it back into soul to get a little more value out of that, but yeah, that's totally fine. I think we'll take this attack here. But yeah, it's just been that sort of sense of just unpredictability of the future in like everything, right? Everyone's kind of unsure more than usual nowadays, I feel like, but then just with Vanguard as well, right? So hopefully that's the case and things work, I guess, as planned for Bushiroad, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. This is gonna be a massive 43. So I'm gonna get pushed to fucking hell and back, huh? I don't really want to go to 4, but I kind of want to put this into my soul, but I guess that's not going to happen. And I have to just hope I draw Peglia to do so. I guess I could maybe use this and get no power from her effect, because she's like a pseudo, is she a pseudo? Yeah, for each grade, yeah, she's like a pseudo, Falcratia, Servant Falcratia. It's just that she's also locked to going to grade 2, so you might as well just play Servant Falcratia. Well, I used to originally play in this deck, actually, when I was testing it out, but ended up dropping it eventually. I used to love this deck a lot, and I played it a lot when it first came out. But there was a little bit of an issue with like the whole time rules and how it affects this deck disproportionately sometimes. And I had gotten to the point where I was playing a lot to where I realized that it's not so much based on me that has the issue with time, right? Because I got to the point where I was able to do my actions fast enough and think during my opponent's turn and whatnot. It was more so that my oof, that's kind of whack. Don't really want to discard the PG, so I guess I have to discard Persona Ride again. Because I want to use this to put it into Soul to call it out again. And I'm going to very obviously need the PG. Very obviously. I guess I could just... No, I have to call out 3 to get the drive, to get the value here. Alright, we got Persona Ride again. So, I'm kind of glad I discarded it several times at this point. Let's go ahead and counterblast. Yeah, I should have just counterblasted Peglia. That's on me, but that's fine. To call out you, and I guess you, right? Who's this? Okay, you, and you. I don't have the ability to use Sparta, which has been unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're going to be able to bind most of our board at the very least, so let's go ahead and swing here. Yeah, we'll swing on boosted. Get a bigger attack later on. And see if we can break through here. He's at least at 3, right? So we have been lucky to be able to push both Sho and Akina early on, even though they've been able to clap back immediately afterwards. But I don't believe I'll get as lucky and hit the overtrigger again. Otherwise, I don't know. I will go play the lottery, I guess. Something like that does happen. Right. Let's go ahead and use leave it at the skill here. And I guess we'll put this in. And we'll swing in now with Andal. Use the skill of Serenella to get an additional 5k. So this column becomes 31 with triple drive because my opponent's on grade 3. And I called out 3 Daffodils because I called out Daffodils equal to my opponent's grade, or less or whatever. And if I do 3, I get 3 or more. I get an extra drive. The front is nice. The Luminia not so much. And the Shelby not as much either, because my hand is not looking great for next turn. A heal would have been really nice, but have 3 of them in play. I have a bunch of crits, so maybe next turn I'll be able to do something crazy. The Luminia is actually not half bad, to be honest. These aren't half bad because they're 5k shields I can add on to whatever I have in my bind zone here. So there is that. This is if it hits, so let's go with this first, see if we can maybe retire the Aerial Sage or something to make that column a little less threatening. And then yeah, we can put this into Soul, since I only have the single Sparta right now. Make this a little bit more threatening here. There we go. We can also hit the Nobia, but I don't think she's going to be that big of an issue. Alright, we got the Gigantic Masher into damage. That's very nice to see. We're going to use her effect here. Since the attack did hit, we're going to retire the Aerial Sage here. Not that the Counterblast matters, but making Raziel not as big and having to play more cards from hand is better, I think. And then we'll swing in here with hopefully game, essentially. But we at least have pretty decent numbers here. It's really ironic. Like, Dolls are such an interesting deck. Because, like, they can do a lot, right? They have the power to draw, they can guard, they have good numbers. But they, for some reason, need a little bit more than that. Like, it's so strange. They need, like, better numbers on certain rear guards, or, like, to get it easier. They need better ways to get access to their bind zone. So they just need to do whatever they're doing now, but just slightly better. Which, honestly, their answer might just end up having to be a new Andal, right? That might just have to be the answer that they get. Where they get a new Andal that just says, everything is, like, an extra 5k shield. Or you call 2 instead, right? And, like, whenever he does his thing where he calls out balls, everything he calls out gets an additional 5k attack or something like that, right? That might just be something like that. Again, building a 1.5 boss. I don't know why he doesn't say divine skill. Oh, but that's fine. I don't know. Alright, so I forced him to call out that from hand, so he only has 2 cards from hand, which is good. He did use the divine skill here, so I don't know how many crits he put back, to be honest. But, yeah, I think we can do this. Because I do have a Peglia, right? No, I don't. She's in damage. That's where she is. Okay, that's fine. Because this is a little annoying to guard, actually. Well, all right. So I want to get this out of the damage anyway, or out of the bind zone, anyways. I should say. But unfortunately, I have to do something like this to guard the attack, which I guess reduces my hand for the ability to PG easier, but not really. I might just do like Libreta and a front trigger for the Vanguard swing. I don't know here. I could also throw this in and then Libreta afterwards to put this into soul. I don't know. I don't have another Provenza. Yeah, I have really bad, really bad soul right now. Yeah, that's like a 1 to pass, which is like super risky. So we'll use Libreta, even though she's a grade 3. Endo gives everything 5k shield, and she also says whenever she's placed, even on Guardian, she can take something from drop and put it into soul, which is very useful. So we're gonna grab that. We're gonna throw this out there. He'll go to 36, and most I can do is 43, so there's really no point in throwing this other than to just not have to guard with it. So I think we'll do that. We'll just do a 1 to pass. Yeah, I could PG, but I'd rather really not. So he has a grade 3 in hand. Grade 3 in hand. Whoo! Safe. Alright, so he has 2 grade 3s and a what's her name in his hand. Okay, this is just 2 doggos. They get power, don't they? Oh, I guess not. I don't really have a lot to guard with, to be honest. The other attack is probably a little bit more manageable. Actually, I can't guard any of these attacks, right? Because I don't have, unfortunately, Peglia, who gets an additional power. So perhaps we just go to 5. Perhaps that's what we do here. We just go to 5. Because I can PG an attack, but like, is that really worth the discard, right? Okay, that now I can guard the attacks. Okay, never mind. That makes things a lot easier. But that is all my fronts, I believe. No, okay. I have 1 left. Okay. Yeah, so they're going to retire that to countercharge. He uses all, I guess, because he has like Nobia and stuff. That's why he uses so much countercharge stuff. So now we can actually use any of our dolls here to guard. Yeah, sure, we can use Shelby, who's going to get additional 5k shield here. And is going to be enough to guard this attack. He has 2 grade 3s in hand and 2 cards that he did not play. He's going to put the top card on the bottom of his deck. Okay, so he doesn't know what the top card is. So I think we just call final turn here. I didn't get to do it against Show because I didn't expect fucking OT to come out of nowhere. But let's go ahead and Persona Ride, see if we can get something useful. Okay, that is actually the most useful thing I could have gotten. Alright, we're good here. Let's go ahead and use Sparta's skill here to bind this critical trigger. Since it's a direful doll, I can use that to guard, and she also gets an additional 10k. I do not have anything good in Soul, which is a bit unfortunate, so I might have to end up calling out my starter. So I'm going to have to do some sort of weird shenanigans that unfortunately Dolls players are used to. They probably saw the line already, or at least somewhat similarly to the line. Which is basically I call out this. Do I have... I don't have. I have not seen a single Peglia, which has been rough. So basically, yeah, I put this. Oh, whoops! Does it not allow? There we go. It wasn't letting me target it. Put that into Soul. I can use now this skill here to counterblast 1. Call out 3 cards from my Soul. Which is gonna have to be, I guess, these 3. overcalling this, calling this here, and yeah, I guess call this here, I guess. So now we can at least get the drives. We'll put in Libreta into Soul again. And then we'll overcall her with this Provencia from hand, and then we'll call this here to the other reverse circle, right? And with that, I will go to combat. And I'll swing here. Let's do unboosted again. Just because we do have the 30k, and I know his hand has 3 cards. Oh, the over trigger already. He's gonna throw that out. Alright, so it's a good thing he doesn't have access to that anymore. We're gonna go ahead and use this skill here to bind Provencia, energy blasting 3, search from our soul. This one only card that we can call, because I guess the other 2 are what? Yeah, 2 copies of Andal. And then use her skill to grab herself, put herself into soul here. And then we'll swing in here again with Libreta unboosted, or not Libreta, Provencia. Providenza. Oh. So one of the things I really like about dolls is that you get to do a lot of this like problem solving card sequencing, which I think is super dope, and is like what I like in all the decks that I play, is like having some sort of problem solving sequencing, or just doing something cool, or just cool art, right? It's one of those 3. But we'll bind this, and dolls kind of does all of that for me, right? It's just unfortunate that, like, I don't know, I have a weird thing with dolls just because of like the time that I ended up actually playing the deck a lot. Stuff was happening. Right. Excuse me. So that's why they're not a deck that I have been able to enjoy as much, unfortunately, as scriptive as I've been. But so they have PG, so I know 2 of these are grade 3s, and they're gonna have to discard one of them probably the Gigantic Master. So they have Persona Ride in hand and some other card that's maybe another PG, but it's not enough to stop all of my upcoming attacks, as I get not the craziest drive checks here. While these are good pieces, they're not any of the many triggers that I have left in deck, but it's fine. In exchange for, I guess, ulti sacking his boyfriend, so I get to not check anything here apparently. But this is probably going to be his last PG if that's what's in his hand, because I mean, how else is he going to guard 46, right? Without a PG? Or he'll just take it. He still has a chance to Miracle Heal, which he'll do here. Is it going to do the thing? I don't know if it's going to do the thing. That sucks. It sucks they didn't add like the effect from the anime where he like has the feathers and all that stuff. That would have been really cool to add, but alright, whatever. They even showed that off in the trailer, which is a bit unfortunate. I only have 1 counter blast. I mean, whatever. This is, I called final turn, so might as well make it the final turn, huh? Alright, that's fine. Let's go ahead and swing in here with 51. So if he does PG this, I'll I might pop off of it. Alright, so now, since they fixed it, he can't just heal again. Before, there was a bug where he would activate the Divine Skill again, right? It wouldn't turn it off, but thankfully that's been fixed, and that is not the case right now. So strong. Alright, one more time. Huh? Because Yuki, you look unsatisfied. No, that's not... It was a good fight. I'd love to get my revenge right away, but I've got a fight promise with Sho. Oh no, I'm gonna be late for work. Sorry, Yuki. See you later. Oh, maybe the person you're looking for isn't me. What do you mean? I have a sister. Her name is Hikari. Thank you. I'll try to find her myself. I enjoyed fighting with you, Ichidoji. Did she like mention she was specifically looking for? Maybe it was just like subtext or something like that, because at least I think now know about that she was looking for a Myodo, right? So let's fight again sometime.